Hi everyone! Today we're celebrating a very special date in the calendar. Now, when you think of a scientist, what image pops into your head? Is it someone with crazy white hair? Is it a man in a white coat holding a test tube? Well, if that's what you were picturing, then today we want to start to change that picture because today is the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. Now, this special day takes place every year on the 11th of February, and it was created by the United Nations to remind the world that science is for everyone. For a long time, women and girls weren't always encouraged to become scientists. In fact, even today, less than 30% of researchers worldwide are women, and that number drops to less than 10% in some countries. Even before we start work, less women and girls are pursuing science, with only 35% of people graduating from university in science-related degrees being women. The International Day of Women and Girls in Science is about changing that. It celebrates the amazing contributions of women in science and raises awareness that science and gender equality must advance hand in hand to address the world's major challenges. It shouldn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl. Science is for everyone. But alongside being about equality and celebration, this day also recognises the power of science. Because science isn't just a subject that we do at school in the classroom for an hour. It is something that shapes the world around us and helps to drive it forwards. But why does it matter so much in our daily lives? Well, just have a think about your day so far. Did you get up this morning and brush your teeth? Well, science helped that to happen. Chemistry helped to create the toothpaste that you used. Did you get the bus to school or ride a bike? Well, it was science and engineering that created those modes of transport. And did your parents or carers tell you to wear a coat because they checked the weather before you went to school? That's also thanks to science. Meteorology, to be exact. Science is how we solve humanity's biggest problems and make solutions. It's how we cure diseases, how we invent the internet, and how we understand the worlds that are beyond our own. So science is clearly important to helping to shape the way that we live and the planet around us. And throughout history, incredible women have used science to help to change the world, even when people told them that they couldn't. Here are three amazing scientists you might have heard of before. The first is Marie Curie, who discovered radioactivity and saved so many lives. The second is Katherine Johnson, the mathematician whose calculations helped NASA to send astronauts to the moon. And the third is Dr. Jane Goodall, who changed how we understand animals and nature forever. These women all led the way in their field and helped to save the lives of people around the world. And even if they're not still with us today, their impact lives on through their research and their successes. But there are also lots of amazing female scientists making a difference to protect our planet today, and one of them is Inka Cresswell. Here is what her work looks like.
My name is Inka Cresswell. I'm a wildlife filmmaker, underwater photographer, and marine biologist. And my entire life revolves around our oceans. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to explore every type of marine ecosystem. I've spent time diving in our kelp forests right here in the UK, where I've interacted with some of the most playful grey seals, worked with coral reefs in the Indo-Pacific and the Caribbean, where I've worked with teams to plant corals, and work with communities to help to establish marine protected areas. This is essential because it helps us to rebuild those vital ecosystems that not only protect our coastlines from storm erosion, but also support an incredible variety of marine life. I spent time working with sharks all around the world, including coming face to face with great white sharks, and even spent time in the deep sea, working in submarines with ROVs, deep underwater robots, that allow us to map new ecosystems never explored before. I started scuba diving when I was just 6 years old, and before then was already out exploring the rock pools, finding all sorts of amazing creatures and snorkeling around my local ecosystems. And the amazing thing about the ocean is that you never know what you're going to find. There's such an incredible variety of life.
Now, Inka mentioned there the work that she does to protect our oceans and habitats. And this is really important because today, science plays a vital role in helping us to tackle a huge challenge. And that challenge is environmental damage. Science plays a hugely important role in helping to understand and then tackle issues like climate change, biodiversity loss, and plastic pollution. And in fact, we couldn't do it without it. Now, one of these biggest environmental issues that scientists are trying to solve right now is plastic waste and plastic litter. But how does science help us to fix that? Well, first of all, without science, we wouldn't even know where the plastic goes. Oceanographers help us to map giant ocean currents called gyres that trap plastic waste. Marine biologists like Inka help us to understand what happens when animals eat plastic and how plastic can be affecting the food chain and even our bodies. And chemists are working right now to invent amazing materials like packaging made from seaweed or mushrooms that could actually replace plastic forever. But tackling plastic pollution isn't just something for the adults in the science labs. It's for all of us to play a role in making a difference against, starting right here in school. Now, through the Plastic Clever Schools programme, you're already becoming a scientist. When you investigate your school's waste, when you count plastic, when you test materials, you're using scientific skills. You're observing, recording data, and finding solutions. So whether you love space or the ocean or animals or computers, science needs you. It needs your curiosity and your questions. But if you're sitting there thinking, well, I want to do this, I want to be involved in science, but thinking, how do I start? Here are some tips and inspiration from Sarah, who helps students like you to lead the way in tackling plastic pollution.
Science is about being curious, asking questions, investigating the world around you, and really understanding how the world works. There are so many different ways to do this, and Plastic Clever Schools can really help. So through investigating plastic pollution, getting out into your local environment, trying to understand what it is you're seeing around you, the impact it's having on our planet, and also the solutions that you could bring to your school, those are all fantastic skills for a future career in science and the environment. But we don't only need researchers and data collectors and analysts. We need creatives, we need storytellers. Scientists and science roles and the environmental sector need to have all sorts of people with all sorts of perspectives and different types of skills to really bring the work we do to life. So whether you are someone who wants to work closely with your community, whether you want to be a teacher and an educator, if you want to have a career in design and engineering, if you want to be a storyteller, there is a place for you in the scientific sector or the environmental one.
So there you go. We all have a part to play in making a difference. Remember, science is for everyone. It doesn't matter what your gender is. If you have a curious mind, then you can help to change the world. Happy International Day of Women and Girls in Science!